Mitch, do you have any one piece of, say, desert island gear, whether it be studio gear or obviously, we talked about the Rattlesnakes record that you played bass on. So, obviously you're a player as well. If you had to, bring one thing with you that you just can't do what it is you do creatively without, what do you think it would be?
That's a really good question. I mean, there's lots of instruments I'm obviously very attached to, just from as we all are. We've got certain guitars and drums and whatnot that I love. I think the thing that was a real breakthrough for me, that made a massive difference, is for years I loved producing. I love recording artists. I loved that process. I love working with people. I found mixing unbelievably hard. For years, I spent ages trying to get good at it, and I kept to the point where I'd get other people to mix stuff I worked on because I just didn't have the sort of confidence. And it just turned out that, and then one day I needed to, I was like, I need to sort of figure out why. The same old thing, why does something sound terrible in my car yet great in the studio? Why, when I put it on, is it not translating? And I went to Funky Junk, which is a sort of pro audio shop in North London in Hornsey.
I'm sorry. Can we get that again? Funky Junk?
They're called Funky Junk, yeah.
Wow, amazing!
They're based in Hornsey, and they basically sell loads of gear, and they've got a big listing room with loads of speakers. And I went with a USB stick of mixes that I knew didn't sound very good in my car, but sounded really good in the studio. And I just sat there and went through all their speakers until I heard the same thing I heard in my car. Basically, it was literally all I was going for. And there happened to be these focal solo sixes, some speakers that immediately I heard them and I was like, okay, I can hear the problem here, and I couldn't hear it on my stuff at home, and I couldn't hear it on these other ones. And I bought them. They were quite a bit more money than I was looking to spend at the time, because it was a few years ago now. And I use them for everything. I just trust them. I trust them in, most rooms I go to. I always need to check mixes on them. They've almost become my sort of thing. If I can get them, they're sort of like, if I can get them sounding good on, then I know that it will translate, Mm-hmm. So I suppose it's a bit of a boring desert island sort of thing, but I'd say my monitors, they'd be the things I'd take with me.
Oh, not at all.
I think they're the most important thing, because I don't think you can, it's what you're basing all your choices on. I think, yeah, that's what I would say.
That's right, dude. Exactly. It's the information, the decision's only as good as the information you're getting. And you can't really fix your ears, totally. You can't reverse engineer that. You can only, adjust what you're putting into that. Tom, as an acoustician, knows that all too well. And yeah, it's like, that is the source, right? What's throwing that sound, and those pressure waves at you. So what an awesome answer, and what a great way of, if anybody is dabbling in mixing or is dealing with the same struggle that all of us here have, struggled with over the years, the dreaded car stereo test. What a cool way of kind of reverse engineering it and saying, let me go find the ones that sound most like that, that show me those things in the mixes I already know. That's a great idea.
Yeah, because that's what I was struggling with. It was sounding great. I remember thinking everything sounds brilliant in the studio, and then I'd take it out and I'd think everything sounded really dull. I remember that was the problem. It was constantly following me around. And it was probably, I think the monitors I had were too big for the room. I learned that you don't need to have massive speakers. Like, if anything, I prefer smaller speakers now. Whereas when I was younger, you just buy the biggest ones because they look the coolest, and you think they're going to be the best because they're huge. And there's all these things you just sort of learn. But I definitely think that all your choices are made because of that. So, you have to, that's probably the most important thing. I'm not really, I love it, like all of us. I love equipment. I'll talk about loads of whatever. But ultimately, I know that it's actually quite a small piece of the puzzle, really. It's more about, for me, it's all about people and performances and sort of capturing the right vibe. But yeah, it'd be my speakers. I'd have a flight case with them. That's where, if you cart me off somewhere and told me that's all I can have, I'll take them with me.
Amazing.
Nice. I love it. And you're treating them right by putting them in a flight case. I'd love to, I'd love to see that. Mitch, thank you so much, dude. That's some great food for thought. And again, we'll try and what model are they again that you?
They're the folk. I've got them right here. I can show you them.
Oh, lovely.
Hang on. They're these ones. I think I
can picture them. I think
because my studio is in bits at the moment.
Right. Yes, of course. The Solo 6s. Yep.
Yeah. No, I love them. I mean, I want to get. I'm thinking of using them here and then buying the twins for my bigger studio.
There you go.
We shall see.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've got quite a fashion. There was a period where they were really fashionable and everyone had them. They're sort of a few years ago, weren't they? But I've sort of stuck with mine. So I'm sure that will change at some point. You know, when just as you get older and you do, the more stuff you do, the more discerning you become, and the more you know what I become harder to please. But when I do find something I like, I'm like,
that's right. Well, and fittingly enough, we started off this this conversation talking about the cans that you're wearing and how we all three of us, for anybody that, you know, if you're just listening and you can't see, he's wearing some like the open back Audis.
It's like having two monitors strapped to your head.
They're not light. They're not light.
LCDXs.
The LCDXs, correct. And those are what Tom and I also subscribe to. So the combination of that on the go, I reference a ton of stuff on cans just to know, for clarity, imaging and whatnot too. But that combination is huge, deadly if you know what
this was a coronavirus lockdown purchase because I had to do loads of mixing in my flat.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel like they're the quantities that went out during 2020 on those headphones.
I think headphone sales went through the roof, didn't they?
Yeah.
Definitely.
If only I could have invested in specifically the sale of over-ear headphones.
Totally.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome, man. Thank you so much, Mitch. Have a good one.
Pleasure, guys. Really nice to speak to you both.
Music to my